Well, in the Scottish borders right now, a self-proclaimed African tribe has declared that Scotland belongs to them.
The Messiah, his son,
The Shiloh.
Atehene, the Shiloh, shall return to Scotland, and he shall build back the lost heritage, the lost kingdom, the last kingdom of Scotland.
So, they call themselves the Kingdom of Kubala, and the royal cast is unusual to say the least. A Zimbabwean queen, a Ghanaian king, and a 21-year-old handmaiden which was recruited from Texas. Their claim is that Scotland is their divine inheritance. This is based on 400 years of a prophecy.
First is Kubala. Kubala means Jacob. Iliswe means land. So when we chant Kubala, Kubala, Iliswe, that means Jacob's land.
And no historian, nor theologian, and not even Google has ever heard of that claim. Authorities have seen that they are actually trespassing, while locals see their lunacy, and Kubala sees his destiny. So let's see what's going on. At the center of the story is John Gasho, who goes by Queen Nandi. She has styled herself as both monarch and messiah, a woman chosen to lead her people into the promised land.
This is the Queen of the North. It's so lovely to see you all. I am your queen. I'm the queen of the land. And this is my real. Is the most precious animal, I think, in the whole of Scotland.
Next to her stands Kofi Ofe, once an opera singer, now King Atehene.
Kubala, Kubala.
Iliswe.
Kubala, Kubala.
Iliswe.
Oh, Kubala, Kubala.
Iliswe.
The spiritual landlord of Scotland's forest. It's a resume that goes from Mozart to makeshift monarchy. Now, the third figure in this case is Kaura Taylor. She's a 21-year-old American, now known as Asnat. Never. She left her family in Texas to live as the Queen's handmaiden. Her parents say that she was once preparing for law school, but instead she's now serving royalty in a Scottish woodland. I mean, wearing the label of inferior mistress, that transition says everything about the power dynamics that you have at play here. Kubala's mythology is stitched actually together from several sources. They claim Kubala means Jacob's land. They also argue that after 400 years of oppression, Scotland is rightfully theirs. And they also declare themselves the true Israelites, heirs to the stone where Jacob supposedly laid his head.
The Kingdom of Kubala has been on a pilgrimage to our lost heritage, following the roots of our ancestors back to the land where Jacob, our forefather, laid his stone. A stone of scorn, and he blessed it with oil. After he poured the oil, he said, one day the Messiah, his son,
The Shiloh.
Atehene, the Shiloh, shall return to Scotland, and he shall build back the lost heritage, the lost kingdom, the last kingdom of Scotland.
Well, in reality, it's just a patchwork of black Hebrew Israelite doctrine, biblically imaginary and self-invented legends, but there is no record that proves of African tribe that used to rule Scotland. So, based on my research, I can tell you that Kubala's lack of evidence is irrelevant that he has provided. But the story is enough to justify the crown, that's what he said. So imagine for the last 3 years, they've been fighting the Scottish authorities over their dream. There have been more than a dozen arrests and countless eviction notices.
Vigilantes are targeting the group of 3 who are based in Jedburgh and been hit with an eviction notice by the council. And local councillor Scott Hamilton has said, we need to be clear that we can't just start living in the woods in a community.
And then you have repeated legal proceedings that have piled up against them. Yet every confrontation becomes part of their story. Police officers transform into villains of prophecy, and council eviction notices that they have received become proof that they are the chosen ones and they're under attack. To Kubala, rejection isn't just your normal settleback, it's confirmation of what they've done and what they're still doing. What makes Kubala concerning isn't just their camping site that they have popped up, nor the titles or not even the biblical fanfiction that they came up with. It's how closely they mirror the pattern of a cult. If you look at it closely, the hierarchy is absolute. Jana's queen, that guy is a king, Kova's whatever.
I'll tell you what I need. We need more wood. If you guys can get us some wood, which is dry, that would be really helpful.
Everyone is cute, waiting to be absorbed into their structure. The language reinforces this order. Loyalists are chosen. Doubters are Esau or Moab. Outsiders cursed as enemies of God.
Why is she hiding?
And you're coming across as a
She's literally here.
Go on.
Look at this. Look at this. This is happening right now. Look at this. Do not touch me. Do not touch me.
The repetition of Kubala in their chants is less worshipping and more about branding.
Kubala, Kubala.
Ilizwe.
Oh, Kubala, Kubala.
Ilizwe.
An identity hammered in the rhythm as well. Their isolation is another thread. Kaura's parents have spoken publicly about their concerns, describing how she cut ties after being drawn in online. They've seen manipulation, possibly grooming, and the kind of emotional distance that makes families feel like strangers. Former members of Kubala have also left under troubling circumstances, and each departure has reinforced how control is exerted through loyalty and fear. Their past adds further shadows. Reports say that 7 of Jean and Kofi's children were removed by social services.
We're watching the start of a cult and somebody's possible kidnap in real time, and nobody seems to be alarmed by what's going on. So first of all, the queen, this woman, her real name is Jean Gasho. She had all her children taken away from her from social services. I'm pretty sure between her and her husband, who is the king actually, they had 7 children, and all 7 kids were taken away by Durham social services.
For most people, that would be a red flag. For Kubala, it's ammunition. Every child that's been taken away, and every tent that the authorities have dismantled, and every confrontation with locals, they feed into their persecution narrative. The worse things get, the more convinced they become that they are the chosen one. Local communities have reacted with hostility as well. There are some reports that rocks have been thrown, tents have been vandalized, and late-night shouting matches.
Some Scottish, you spaz. No, he was born in Kelso and he went to Blackburn, claimed land. If you're the king, why do you use a camera? You're not no king.
Videos circulate online showing the arguments between Kubala members and residents that sometimes escalate into threats and curses.
Fire woman. She's come to destroy the tent. She's come to destroy the tent. Yeah.
Don't push me.
You're not going to touch me.
Authorities condemn the vigilante behavior, but the tension is undeniable. Scotland's forests have become a battleground of fantasy versus reality, with police stuck in the middle trying to enforce laws against people who believe they're above them. Kubala broadcasts much of this online things that they're doing, which are rituals, declarations, confrontation, and they're turning that woodland into a stage. They even recruit through blogs and social media, looking for new members and even new wives. This fantasy is constantly reinforced with fresh new eyes, such as comments, clicks, and comments that create a feedback loop where attention itself becomes proof of legitimacy. Well, Kubala's kingdom is probably gonna get evicted again. The Kingdom of Kubala is a reminder of how fragile the line between belief and delusion is. It's a very thin line. On the surface, you have your normal queen, king, whatever, but they're actually camping illegally in Scotland. Underneath, this is a textbook demonstration of cult behavior, which is rewriting their history, isolating their followers, framing every consequence as divine proof. This story might look absurd, but the stakes are actually real in this frame. Families are fractured, vulnerable people are drawn into roles that they don't understand. And you've got your local communities which are left struggling with the fallout. Fantasy can be harmless when it stays in your imagination, it stays here, you don't go out and portray it. But when it turns into handmaidens, trespassers and rejection of the law, it stops being a roleplay and becomes a problem. Kubala will believe that they owned something in Scotland, but they truly inherit the same fate as every cult. A closed circle of belief with a shrinking cap in woods. And the slow, inevitable collision with reality that's gonna slap them in the face. Ciao.
Oh, Kubala, Kubala.
Ilizwe.